Hello there, and welcome to this session, Solving Tactics, on JustTempo.com. Today we're doing 1700 to 1800 mixed. I haven't done a little preface in a while, but just to sort of repeat things that I've said during this series, don't actually listen to everything that I say during this recording. You know, you don't actually need to listen to me talk over the problem, talk about variations and all this crap, because I'm constantly making mistakes. Like sometimes I'll look at like the G4 square and I'll say F4 or I'll say H4, just because my mind's like thinking about something like Rook H4 or something, but the Rook is on G4, and so I say Rook G4, but really I mean Rook. Like I'm making little mistakes. I am taking some time to really solve out the problem orally. So when you get to a new problem, just pause the video, solve it yourself, and if you're struggling with it, then listen to me solve the problem. But if you're getting the problem just fine by yourself, then just sort of skip ahead to the explanation. Or if you want to listen to me make a fool of myself, or listen to me sort of uncover the way that I solved the problem, then play the video and listen to me explain. But don't waste your time just constantly listening to me explain. It's best to try and put in the work yourself. So for example, now I would recommend pausing the video and just trying to solve out the problem yourself. And if you have difficulties solving the problem, then listen to me. Listen to me, listen to my thought process and everything. Pawn up. Could just move the rook away. Play knight d1. Put knight d1, drops b5. Knight e2 check, rook takes f2. Ah, my rook's under attack here as well. Huh. So this is under attack and this is under attack. So the best way to do it is probably rook e2. If bishop takes c8, rook takes e3. Rook e2, if rook takes, knight takes check. Let's say king f2, and then rook c2. Rook b8 check, king h7, bishop f5 check, g6, and I'm safe. Alright, yeah, so the only way I see to solve this problem and this problem and this problem is to play rook e2. I am going to lose a pawn, but, well, maybe not. So rook e2, rook takes, knight takes check, king f2, rook c2, rook takes b5. Oh, and if rook takes b5, knight c3 check. Picking up the rook. I didn't really consider that line. I mean, I did consider that line, but the reason that I didn't like it was just because after this pawn is definitely going to fall, right? Without question, that pawn falls. This is a draw, though. Should be. Alright, so mistakes made here. Knight d1. Yeah, people are playing knight d1, and they're not realizing that the rook on c8 is under attack. I'm certain that if more people see the rook on c8, and obviously this doesn't work. So, okay. Oh shit. Okay, so I need to move my rook away, that's clear. I need to play rook e8 or rook d8. If rook d8, d7, rook e8, rook check, king f6, queen h6. It's horrible for me, I believe. King h6, then queen takes h8. So probably the best move is rook e8. That way if d7, I could just take on d7. Okay, the problem continues because now there's the threat of queen f7. But knight e7 should cover that. No, knight e7, queen f7, checkmate. If rook takes, knight takes, queen f7, checkmate. So I should just bring the rook back to f8. Rook f7, rook e8, perpetual. Or not perpetual, because perpetual is for perpetual check, but repetition. This is a Giri game. Anish Giri with the white pieces. Mistakes made, queen g7. Giving up the queen. You only have a rook for the knight here. It's not enough. Okay. I believe h3 is the correct move here. If rook takes, king g4. Rook takes, king takes. Rook takes, king takes. King g4. h3, king takes h3. King f6. King h4. h5. King h5. I lose. So yeah, the correct move is h3, rook takes h3, rook takes e7, h3, pawn takes h3, rook takes e7, rook takes e7, king takes e7, king g5, king f, king h6, king g8, draw. Yeah, so rook takes e7, the pawn endgame is not a draw. Just one line here. King, 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 takes, king here, king here. This is not a draw. Should be very clear why. For example, yeah, so you have to just realize that the pawn endgame's not one. Okay, so knight check. If knight takes, I take this queen. Knight check. If queen takes, I take this queen. Queen f8, bishop h7 wins the queen. And if you take there, I'm just going to take here. Or if you do this, I take here, then take here. That was not too difficult. So it goes, the full line goes knight check, knight takes, bishop takes queen. Knight check, queen takes, queen check, queen f8, bishop h7 check. King takes h7, queen takes f8. Nothing is under attack. Bishop takes g5, or I'm sorry, pawn takes g6. Knight takes d5. And I can't take on f6 because of knight takes f6. What about bishop e6, pawn takes e6, pawn takes e6? Rook d8, bishop takes d8, rook takes d8, rook takes f6. And I'm up the exchange. That's very elaborate, but I think it's correct. Bishop e6, pawn takes, pawn takes. If rook c7, bishop takes c7. If rook stays, I take the rook. There's no check. So yeah, bishop e6. And after rook d8, bishop takes d8. If he does nothing, I just move my bishop away. There's no way he can hit one of my rooks. If he does nothing with the rook or with the bishop, I can take on e7 or I can take on f6. Yeah. So bishop e6, pawn, bishop takes, rook takes f6. Mistakes made in this position, f takes g6. So I considered f takes g6, but after f takes g6, knight takes. You really don't have anything better than taking on f7, rook takes, and rook takes here. The computer line goes f takes g6, f takes g6, rook takes d5. Preferring to win the d pawn than the f pawn, which makes total sense. This is an endgame advantage, but how much of an advantage, it's difficult to say. Okay, so if queen takes here, bishop takes here, king takes, queen takes, bishop takes, king takes. No, I just take with the knight. Queen takes, bishop takes, knight takes. And then I have two pieces. I have a piece up. So queen takes, bishop takes, knight takes, h4, h5. f4, f5. I should be safe. So yeah, takes, oh, he took here. Then rook takes a8 should suffice. Rook takes a8. Queen c6. Queen c6. Queen c6. Rook takes a8. Queen c6. Rook e7. Queen takes f6. And I can't stop mate on g7. Wait. Rook takes a8, queen c6, rook b8, queen takes f6, queen takes b2. And I can stop mate on g7. There we go. Queen takes f6, queen takes b2. And now I'm threatening rook or bishop e3 check and other things. Alright, That's it. That's it for me today. Let's take a look at the mistakes made here. Knight e5. So what exactly happened here? In this position, I thought the line was going to be queen takes a1, bishop takes f8, knight takes f8, h4, h5, f4, f5. This is the line that I expected. And then what happened instead was this. And after this, I saw everything. I did calculate all the way to the end here in this position. The immediate rook b8 is fine, but it doesn't win as much material. So knight e5 is the most common mistake in this position. Knight e5. Knight e5, rook takes e1, knight takes, bishop takes, king takes. You're down the exchange. That's just a simple counting issue. Another mistake, the actual most common mistake, is 3 rook d8. So queen takes d7, and then the most common mistake is 3 rook d8. I assume people just don't see queen takes f6. Or they're thinking to get in some sort of checkmate with rook d1. But yeah, this is a problem where people are not paying attention to the defensive resource or offensive resource. Because if you see, like the reason that I got clued into the attack on f6 is that the computer decided to play for tricks instead of going for more or less material balance. See, in this position, I'm a rook up, and in the other position, in this position, I'm just the exchange up, or just the piece up. Clearly, it would be better to be a piece down instead of a full rook down, a minor piece down. So that sort of clued me into the attack on g7. That's what the computer was playing for. Let's just do one more problem. I just kind of feel like it. Is it not the simple king f6? King f6, king f4. So what about playing g5? g5, king g4, f6, king f5, king f7, d6. What about g5, king g4, king f6? g5, king g4, f6, d6, king e6, d7, king takes d7. King takes g5. King e6. King h6. King e5. King takes h7. King d. g5. King g4. King f7. d6. h6. d7. King e7. King h5. King takes d7. Or d8. King takes d8. Then king h5. Then king e7. Then king h6. Then f5. King takes h6. King f6. And I should be able to create a passed pawn there. I'll be able to play f4 and run him out of moves. Okay, so the variation goes g5, king g4, f6, d6, h6. d7, king e7, d8, king takes d8, h5, king e7, king takes h6, king f6, king h7, king f5, king g7, f6, and I'm going to win that pawn endgame because he just doesn't have enough moves. His king's too far away. So yeah, so g5. Oh wow, f5, king f3, f6. Is g5 no good? g5? Maybe g5 is no good because of this. And he's going to go for this pawn now. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, I completely underestimated the strength of something like this. And I can't touch these pawns. And if I try to come up, c4, c5 is too strong. I considered f5, but f5, king f6. And he can't make progress to the c pawn. It's actually about the c pawn. I was thinking it was all about the d pawn, but it's actually about the c pawn. King here, king here. And this is a different story. Should I go for the opposition? How do you continue here? Am I missing a move? White can definitely push the advantage here. But yeah, I guess g5 was just outright incorrect, and f5 is uncertain. So that's how you know. Knight f4, rook takes, queen check, rook to f2. Queen check, king f1. Queen check. King g2. Wait, I don't have this check. Queen here. Queen h8. King g8. Queen here, or queen 8 takes h6 check. Queen takes h6 check. Queen here, rook check. Slaughterhouse. Rook d7. Rook check, rook here. Queen check, king here. Or knight back. That looks survivable. But I'm drawn to knight f4. But no, knight f4, queen h6 check. King g8. Queen takes f4. So my two options are rook d7 and queen f7. Queen f7, rook check, king here. Rook takes. And he picks up the knight on e6. So rook d7. Rook takes check. Rook here. Queen h6 check. Queen here. Queen check. Queen here. Rook takes check. king e8, rook takes check, I lose my queen. So rook d7 seems to be the only move that survives. Rook d7, queen takes check, king g8. And there are no more checks. Rook check, queen h6 check, king g8, and I survive. Rook here, rook here. Rook f7 is forced. Queen check. King g8. Rook check. Wait, but then he'll take on e6. Rook here, rook check. Rook here, queen check. King g8. Then he takes on e6. But I don't think I have another option. Okay, so I didn't like knight f4 because of queen takes check. King f7, queen takes. I guess you're equal though. I guess this is just equal. More or less. Queen here. Threatening to pick up and covering f6. Alright, fair enough. Okay, good session. I was a little bit disappointed with those last two problems, but I can live with it. I can live with myself missing those two problems. They were difficult. So, that was nice. I enjoyed that session. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And until next time, good luck, and I wish you the best on your chess journey. See you later. Goodbye.